Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. We are ready.
Houston ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear us?
We've got you loud and clear.
Got you loud and clear as well. Please stand by for opening remarks.
Hi, my name is Safine.
Greetings from the Queens Public Library. I'm Rita Carl, Director of Programming. We have over 60 libraries serving 2.3 million people across the borough of Queens in New York City. This past year, children at our libraries have been learning what it's like to live and work on the International Space Station. We are so grateful for this opportunity to have their questions answered by the astronauts themselves. The questions are being asked by children from PS24 who are here today, but represent questions submitted by children at libraries from across Queens. And now for our first question.
Hi, my name is Safine. This question is from the Bayside Library. When you are back on Earth, what do you miss most about being in space?
Thanks, Safine. I really appreciate your question. Actually, Chris and I were both rookie astronauts, so we're up in space for our first time, so we've never been back to Earth afterwards. But thinking about it, I'm going to miss all the special times up here. Floating around with your friends, getting the opportunity to be on the International Space Station is really special, and I'm going to miss the opportunity to float around and do science and technology demonstrations.
Hi, my name is Princeton. This is a question from the Broadway Library. Does candy still taste sweet in space?
Hey, Princeton, that's a great question and a really important one. And I can, in fact, I have done this experiment myself, and I can tell you that it does still taste sweet. I think Jack can verify that as well.
Hi, my name is Burhan. This question is from the Cambria Heights Library. How does it feel not being able to walk or lie down on the International Space Station?
Thanks, Burnham. It feels really cool, actually, to just be able to float around and pull yourself down the lab or the different modules that we have. It just feels kind of like pretty cool. But also, it can be a challenge because when you try to put stuff down, it doesn't stay where you put it. When you try to sleep, you're just floating down, and sometimes it's nice to feel like you're in a bed underneath a nice heavy blanket. So it's different, but really it's quite a bit of fun.
Hi, my name is Osborne. This question is from the East Flushing Library. Do you do any certain physical exercises to prepare for your space mission?
Thanks for the question, Osborne. It's yeah, we do a fair bit of exercise. It's really important to be in good physical shape because when you're up in space, there's no gravity pulling down on us, and so if you don't do a lot of exercises, your muscles and your bones can lose their strength. So we try to be in good shape before we come up to space, and then while we're in space, we usually do about 2.5 hours of exercise every single day. We do some weightlifting, and we also have a treadmill and an exercise bike to do for cardiovascular strength. So we spend a lot of our time trying to keep our bodies healthy and in shape so that we're strong when we get back to Earth.
Hi, my name is Heidi. This question is from the East Flushing Library. How long does it take for your body to readjust to land after your mission?
Station on 2 for Eris.
Thanks, Heidi. That's kind of tied into the question Chris just answered. It takes us a couple days to 2 weeks or so to really fully adjust when we get back down to Earth. Part of that is the body adjusting to gravity, and part of it is experiencing 1G again and having to be able to pick up your arm and feel the weight of your arm after not having felt the weight of it for 8 or 9 months. So we take a couple days to a couple weeks, depending on how things go, to be really back to normal when we're back on Earth.
Hi, my name is Lucas. This question is from Elmhurst Library. What is your favorite meal on the space station?
Thanks for the question, Lucas. So I don't know if I have a favorite meal on the space station. My favorite thing is that because we have astronauts on the International Space Station from all different countries, we have some food from a lot of those different countries. We have some food from Japan, from Europe, from Russia, and from America. And I like being able to try little bits of those every single day to try different foods. So I think that's my favorite food. I had some really good spicy green beans yesterday, though. So those are pretty high up there for me as well.
Hi, my name is Nadia. This question is from the Flushing Library. Have you ever witnessed any cool chemical reactions in space?
Medea, that's an interesting question. There's a lot of science going on here up on the space station. Just to my left is an electron microscope that we've been using in the last week. But an example of a chemical reaction that we see all the time is when we draw blood to do experiments and understand how our bodies are reacting to zero gravity. Whenever we draw blood, we put it into a vial with special chemicals in there that will preserve it for the flight home, for the amount of time it has to wait until it can get back to the scientists on Earth. So there's special chemicals inside those vials, and the blood reacts with those chemicals in a chemical reaction, so it's preserved and ready for scientists to do more analysis on it when we get home.
Hi, my name is Harrison. This question is from the Flushing Library. Can you create fire in space?
Hey, Harrison, that's a really great question. And actually, we have done a lot of science experiments up here on the International Space Station just about how fire works in space. Because instead of it having like a normal flame, the fire actually grows like a sphere, like a ball. And so it provides an opportunity for scientists to better understand how fire works just in general by studying it in space. So great question.
Hi, my name is Yaneli. This question is from the Flushing Library. How long are you staying up there for?
Hi, Yanel. Thanks for the question. I've been up here for about a month. My good friend Chris here just celebrated 100 days in space, so that's a pretty cool milestone. And we're both going to be up here on the International Space Station for about 8 months before we head back to the Earth and our families.
My name is Henry. This question is from the Flushing Library. Can you reuse the spacecraft?
Hey, Henry, that's a really great question. So the International Space Station itself, we've been using it continuously for over 25 years now. But we fly up to the International Space Station in different spacecraft. I flew up on a Soyuz rocket and a Soyuz space capsule. That's a one-time use space capsule. But Jack flew up on a Dragon space capsule, and that's one that gets reused over and over again. So it depends on the spacecraft. Fifth time for your Dragon. That's awesome.
Hi, my name is Kayla. This question is from the Flushing Library. How does the International Space Station stay in orbit?
Hey, Kayla, that's a cool question. Well, the International Space Station is going 17,500 miles an hour as it orbits the Earth. And because it's going so fast, Earth's gravity can't quite pull it back down in, so it will re-enter the atmosphere. It happens a little bit. There's a little bit of atmosphere down, so we get slowed down and we have to speed up every once in a while. But the International Space Station is going as fast as it is because the original rockets and the space shuttle that originally put the space station together set us going this fast. And we can just keep orbiting the Earth while we keep up that speed.
Hi, my name is Jalen. This question is from the Hunters Point Library. How long is the average spacewalk?
That's a great question, Jalen. So every spacewalk is a little bit different, but usually we plan for about 6.5 hours or so for an average spacewalk. Sometimes they're a little bit shorter, sometimes they're a little bit longer. But the life support systems inside our spacecraft can keep us safe and keep us going for at least that amount of time.
Hi, my name is Leon. This question is from the Hunters Point Library. Where on Earth is your favorite place to see from space?
Hi, Elena. That is a cool question. And the answer is really everywhere because all parts of the Earth have something interesting to show, whether it's night lights or mountains or lakes or cities or rural countries or forest. We see a lot of the ocean. There's so much to see up here. One of my favorite things, though, is when you look just at the edge of the Earth and you can just see the thin band of atmosphere and all the cool colors of blue during day and all the cool colors of red and orange during sunsets and sunrises and the really cool colors of auroras in the northern hemisphere late at night. Oh, you can see some on the screen now. So there's a lot of really cool things to see from up here.
Hi, my name is Jack. This question is from the Long Island City Library. If you spill liquid by accident in microgravity, how do you clean it up?
Hey, Jack. Well, I actually have some water with me right here, and the cool thing is when you drink water in microgravity, it actually just forms into a ball. And so, my favorite way to clean it up is to just take a drink.
Hi, my name is Hao Xu. This question is from the Long Island City Library. What advice would you give to children who dream of being astronauts or engineers?
Hi, Haushi. Thanks for your question. There's lots of ways to become an astronaut. I was a test pilot in the Navy. My good friend here was a doctor of physics and a medical researcher. And so the best way to become an astronaut, to have the best chance of becoming an astronaut, is find something that you love to do and become as good as you can at it. The more that you love what you do, the more that passion will shine through, and the more that people will love being around you and love watching you do the work that you do. That's the best way to succeed in life and have an opportunity to become an astronaut. So I wish you luck.
Hi, my name is Geronimo. This question is from the Long Island City Library. What kind of science experiments are you running right now, and why are they important?
Thanks for the question, Geronimo. So we've got a whole bunch of different experiments that we're doing on the International Space Station right now. A couple of them that are pretty interesting. Well, first, there's ones where we're actually both the scientists but also the experimental subjects. We do a lot of research on humans and how humans adapt to space flight. So you can see Jack is wearing a headband here that's taking some of his vital signs. We do a lot of things where we take our blood and we study how microgravity affects some of the markers that we can see in the blood. We also have some experiments where we're looking at how liquids work in microgravity, and this is really important for thinking about how we can transfer fuel between future spacecraft. We also have an experiment going on where we're looking at using artificial intelligence to help guide ultrasound medical exams. Actually, just over to the side in this module that we're standing in now, we have two robotic arms that we're testing out to see how well they could work to help astronauts as we do tasks on orbit. So we got all sorts of different experiments up here, and that's one of the things that makes it really fun and exciting to work up here.
Hi, my name is Tiffany. This question is from the Long Island City Library. How do you stay connected with family and friends back on Earth?
Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for your question. We have plenty of access to email. We can occasionally make phone calls and send messages back home to our family. It's really important to stay connected with people, both our families and friends, and other people around the world as we share the experience up here. But it is really nice to be able to call home occasionally and see how everyone is doing and tell stories about how our day has gone as well.
Hi, my name is Zoe. This question is from the Long Island City Library. What's the most surprising and or funny thing about everyday life in microgravity?
Great question, Zoe. I think for me, the thing that I always find kind of funny is how easy it is to lose things in microgravity. I had a thing just the other day where all of us were floating around the table, and I put my my little bag of tea down on the table, and we were just having a conversation. I turned back, and it was gone. And it took us 2 days to find where it went to. It floated off in the air currents, just like right in between, and from in between us. You can't put things down and expect them to stay where they are. So I think that's kind of funny and something that's taken a little while to get used to.
Hi, my name is Valerie. This question is from the Long Island City Library. How do you recycle water and air aboard the station?
Hi, Valerie. That's a great question. And it's a really important one, too, because as we go on to the moon and Mars, one of the most important things we can do is recycle the atmosphere and recycle the water that we're using, because the water in particular is very heavy to carry on rockets. And the more that, or the less that we have to take with us, the more other supplies, the more science experiments that we'll be able to take with us as we travel around the solar system. But we have special equipment on board that cleans the carbon dioxide out of our air and reprocesses it into breathable oxygen for us. And we also have special water filters that filter all the water, air conditioners that take the humidity out of the air and process the water and make it safe to drink again. So we can reuse well over 90% of the water, and nearly all of the air that we have gets reused on a daily basis.
Hi, my name is Lucy. This question is from the Panasua Library. What does the Earth look like from space?
Thanks for the question, Lucy. In one word, the Earth looks absolutely beautiful from space. You see all sorts of different things when you look out. You can see mountains, you can see the green of forests, a lot of blue of ocean. And as Jack mentioned earlier, the other thing you can see that is really special is just this thin line of atmosphere that contains all of the air that we breathe when we're on our home planet. It's really just a beautiful and awe-inspiring sight seeing it from up here. And the other cool thing is when we look out the window, we can actually see the curvature of the Earth with our plain eyes, which is pretty neat.
Hi, my name is Jade. This question is from the Poppenhusen Library. How much training do you need to qualify to be an astronaut?
Thanks, Jade. That's an awesome question. Actually, Chris and I joined the NASA Astronaut Corps at the same time in the beginning of 2022. So it's 2026 now. We both did our 2 years of basic astronaut training when we got started to learn how to spacewalk, to learn the systems of the International Space Station, learn how to fly the T-38 airplane, and operate the robotic arm up here. And then after those 2 years, we each got assigned to our missions, and we spent another 1.5 to 2 years getting ready for the mission that we're now on. And now we're up here for 8 or 9 years. So it took us about 4 years to get up here, and we get to spend almost a year up here.
Hi, my name is Leilani. This question is from the Poppenhusen Library. If you get sick during your mission, is there a doctor on the space station?
Thanks for the question. So some astronauts actually are doctors and have medical degrees, but all of us have some medical training and lots of medical supplies up here. And we have doctors on the ground that we can talk to and work with in case anybody gets sick to try to help each other. But the main thing is we help each other up here.
Hi, my name is Dean. This question is from the Rosedale Library. Do you have any pets on the International Space Station?
Hi, Dean. Thanks for the question. We don't have any pets up here. It's just us humans. Though on the next spacewalk and the previous spacewalk, they did do special tests on the outside of the space station to see if there were microbes growing out there. So maybe if you consider bacteria or a microbe a pet, we could have some of those.
Hi, my name is Emmeline. This question is from the Rosedale Library. How do you sleep on the International Space Station?
Thanks for the question, Emmeline. So when you sleep in the International Space Station, because there's no gravity, you actually sleep kind of standing and floating up. We have sleeping bags that are attached to the wall in our own little rooms, and it's actually really comfortable. It's like you're floating because you are floating. So I actually sleep really well and really comfortably up here, and it's kind of nice.
We truly appreciate your time today. The students here at Flushing Library are so thankful for the amazing opportunity to hear your answers and explanations. Over the next month, librarians across Queens will host watch parties to bring the excitement of this experience to children, youth, and families across the borough. We can't wait to see how much they will learn. Thank you from everyone at the Queens Public Library.
Thanks very much from Expedition 74. We were happy to chat with you today.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all participants.
Station copies.
Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.